Hey, what's up guys, welcome to the Swanky Productions channel where I put one new snowmobile video out every week. So if you're liking what you're seeing here, then make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can see new videos when they come out every weekend. Today, we are going to do something that I have been waiting to do for kind of a long time here. So I'm going to get my scales out and we'll do our best to get some accurate weights on these. I'm not quite sure how it's going to go with 3 bathroom scales, but we'll see if we can't get it figured out. We've got a 2013 Arctic Cat F1100. This is my sled. This is a 2-cylinder, 4-stroke, 1056 cc's. It's got the 129-inch track. It does have studs in it, so that's definitely going to add some weight. Next to it there, we've got my buddy's 2019 ZR6000. This is a 2-stroke, 600 motor, again, 2-cylinder. But this one has the slightly longer track, 137-inch, but there are no studs in it. So some of that's going to kind of throw our numbers off here a little bit compared to completely stock sled or a short track sled in that sled's case. So kind of have to take this all a little bit with a grain of salt. Some of it's going to differ if you're looking at slightly different models. But this is what we've got in the garage today, so we're going to throw some scales under them and see what they say. We'll do the 4-stroke first because this is filled up with fuel. I suppose we don't want that on there. So we got full tank of gas here, and we only put 7 miles on since I filled up. I suppose there are a few things in here, but nothing that should be all that heavy, so I think that can all stay in place. This does not have the tail bag on it anymore. I pulled this one off just so we're even. So let's get this on scale. So we've got this thing on the scales here. We've got some wood underneath the sled to kind of distribute the weight and keep the glass from shattering. All the blocks are the same height. We've got everything centered. So we should have a fairly accurate estimate, or at least as accurate as you can get with 3 bathroom scales. So I'll lift this up to reactivate these. 151.7. 166.5. Looking at 328.4. Just in case there's any questions here, we are not touching this at all. So that means that this thing weighs in at 646 pounds. I think that's got to be way, way heavier than what they post online. And one of you guys actually mentioned that a certain brand here that we have in the garage doesn't actually post correct numbers or doesn't post numbers at all or something maybe. I don't remember exactly how that went, but man, that is a heavy sled, and that I think is a lot heavier than anybody else's. It'll be interesting to see, I guess, what the 2-stroke weighs in at compared to what I can find online. So let's get this thing fueled up, top the oil off, and get it on the scales.
So I looked it up again before I left the house, and I did find some numbers that look fairly like independent, I guess you would say, and that showed that the F1100 should be like right around 522 dry. And obviously, you know, you've got 10 gallons of gas in the tank, so I mean that adds some weight, and like I said, I've got studs on that. But the best I could figure, that sled should really only weigh like 600 pounds, and obviously we're quite a bit over that, so I'm not sure what's going on with that, why mine would be so much heavier, and I don't think that's the case. I think they're all just that much heavier, unless I've got something drastically wrong with the way that I'm weighing it, which I don't really think that I do. I'm fairly confident that that should get me a number pretty close. So being 70-some pounds off sort of confuses me and makes me think that the numbers online are not accurate. That sled definitely does feel a bit heavier than this sled, and I think partially it's just the noise that they emit, really. That this one seems high revving and kind of light and playful, where the 4-stroke, and it's got to be even the ergonomics of it, that one you sit kind of lower down. It feels wider, I guess, too. I suppose maybe the bodywork is a little bit wider than this one. So it just ends up kind of feeling a bit tankish and just kind of heavy in the front. And I mean, even moving them around, just picking up the rear end of that versus this, and the front end too, that one is a little bit heavier. So let's put some fuel in this thing and get it home. What a beautiful night for a ride. I'm gonna miss this. $77.7 miles. Always. And this sled actually requires it. Alright, so 77.7 miles. divided by 5.889 gallons. 13 miles with a gallon. I think that's better than my F1100 gets. Alright. Let's get this thing back to the garage and get it on the scales. Oop, let's not knock the house down. Stupid friggin' pole. Gotta get some oil in that thing too. Well, that wouldn't have made a difference anyways. There's hardly anything gone. I wonder if I can do this with my helmet on. That would be kind of nice. Oop. I gotta say, I was not too sure about this thing to begin with, and I'm still not, since that's all that's keeping this thing from coming all the way over once it's jacked up. But it sure is nice to have. Don't mind the piece of wood there that is required on one of these Arcticats to keep it from having the, well, what? Oh, there we go. Keep it from resting on the brake rotor and the crankcase. Sure is nice to get it up in the air though, and I love that it's on wheels. And I also don't like that there's like hardly anything holding the back end of this up. But this is what I'm talking about here. That's your chain case. And over here, there it is. Your brake rotor sits right inside of there. Alright, let's get this thing over to the scales. Why did I decide to wear my gear in here? 123.7, 157, 335, 615? Yeah, so that means that this is only 30 pounds lighter. And I guess I say 30 pounds. 30 pounds is a lot, especially if you got to pick it up. And obviously we've got quite a bit of a longer track here. Definitely gets you some more traction when you're in deep stuff, which is really when the weight's going to count. So hopefully this was interesting to you guys. I definitely am glad that I kind of have a real life idea, or at least as close to it as I can get it again with bathroom scales on a cracked garage floor. But I think that was well worth doing. So hopefully you guys did too. If you did, let me know down in the comment box below. Again, if you want to see more videos like this, I put a new one out every weekend in the wintertime. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Click the bell after you subscribe. That way it'll let you know anytime I put a video out. Other than that, guys, take care, stay safe, stay swanky. Get out, enjoy this beautiful world for yourself if you can. And hey, if you can't, check out some more videos in the meantime. I gotta get clothes off. I'm roasting.